today in a new episode of Breaking the Trauma. Will Sabina be able to hike the what is it, like Waihee Ridge Trail in the forest alone? Will she be able to break the trauma bond and finally do it? I will take this moment with me forever. Absolutely no idea where this journey today will lead me, but I am trusting the process and trusting the guidance of my intuition, the lifestyle, and the wisdom of the place. Travel-wise, spiritually wise, I'm a little bit out of breath, so bear with me trying to create a thought train. But so, as I mentioned, today I'm working on breaking that like trauma patterns and feel pretty confident, even though I have to say that at the beginning this person really freaked me out, and it's just that's how trauma works. It's just rewires and reminds your mind and of this past stories that are limiting you and not letting you be who you are. Imagine that, for example, me, right? Like a forest theory. I'm in love with forest, I'm in love with nature, and to be my authentic self, I have to do it. I have to, this is almost like my body purpose. I don't know why and how, but I have to climb this stage, I have to climb this jungle, I have to climb this forest. I have no idea why, but I just feel like this is who I am. And I like to exercise my body and exploring the, like, wait a second, I don't want to fall, but exploring landscapes like such and hiking just makes me and gives me this sense of being alive. Okay, I need to use my hand, otherwise I'm gonna fall. Okay, so gives me the sense of purpose, gives me the sense of being alive and the activity, the exploring. But imagine that the thing that makes you you is the thing that you are afraid the most. And I'm not sure if it's like a Matrix game, but how come it happened that the thing that makes me my authentic self, the thing that makes me me, is something that I'm afraid to do. And it's not that the fear is not real. I mean, all of the stories, all of the trauma stories, they're based on a true stories of traumas that me or other person or other people I used to know or still know, they've been through. So it's like a game, you know, that it's like, are you willing to go beyond the limitation? Are you willing to test the boundaries of, let's say, like normal? Because the safety creates this matrix of a specific life, specific pattern of life that we think is normal to live, but it's not necessarily something that makes us feel happy or satisfied, or something that is fulfilling us on the a soul level, on the physical level. So it's almost like every day it's almost like a battle and a big choice to make. Are you willing to test it out? And as I said, it's not that the fears are not real, but it's actual stories, actual fears, actual traumatic stories. But are you willing to move through that in order to be who you are? And I don't necessarily mean now like jump the airplanes and do like scuba diving, or not the scuba diving, the thing where people jump from the bridges. I forgot how it's called, but it's not that I do that to be myself. It's just that hiking, right? Being alone. I like the spaciousness of being alone. I like to be on my own and explore, and I don't always want to tag along some other people or my partner, because they don't always want it, but I want it. So it's like the choice that I have to make every time, and it's not always that these choices are easy to make, easy to do, but this is, I guess, the price that we all pay. Like, do you want to be who you are? Do you want to live your authentic self? Do you want to, look at this, it's interesting. Do you want to be who you are? Then you have to make a certain choices. And if for me it's breaking the trauma patterns, then for somebody else it may be breaking the intergenerational traumas. Like if nobody in your family, if no one in your family ever prioritized like creative self-expression and choosing a job, for example, based on creativity and expressing like your art desires and all of that, instead of like a boring job that you hate but maybe like brings you money and stability. So it's a different story for all of us, but I'm sure, 100% sure, that each person, I don't want to fall, each person has its own way of battling that. We all do. We all have our stories that we need to work through, to see them first, of course, to open them up. It's not always easy, and it's not that you, like me, for example, this is my everyday life, this is my profession, this is my life, to analyze, to explore like my past, and I do that to, oh my god, look at this view. Yay. I do that on a daily basis just because I'm a explorer and researcher in the way of like in the world of trauma and like human psychology and all of that. This is like what I do for living. This is what I do for fun even. And like how when I was in the university and a teacher asked us like, what is the way, what is the reason that one may want to study adverse childhood experiences? And I was like, because it's interesting. She was like, okay, Sabina, we figured it out for you. But what are other like reasons behind, like besides that, like because for me it's something that is like interesting. It's something that I like to explore. But for you, maybe you are not in this field, you are not doing that on a daily basis. So for you, maybe it's going to be like hard, and like you will not understand like why do you need that, and maybe you don't have a habit and a muscle to do that, to dig within, like deep within your subconscious mind and track those limiting stories and limiting beliefs, why you want something but you never do that. So I do that for fun. I do that because it's my profession and passion. And for me, usually, like, people used to ask me, like, why are you always recalling traumatic stories? Why are you always recalling something like from your past as a childhood? And then throughout my exploration in the world of psychology, like my own psyche and like human trauma, all of that, I think I figured out that some of these stories that you probably recall, they're there for a reason. You know, do you have these people, or maybe you are that people that somehow like you're, I don't know, like spending an evening together, maybe like drinking or mingling, having dinner, and then like someone like for some reason just like recall some story from their childhood, and they start like talking about it, and you're like, why do you do that? Like, why do you always go there? But the thing is that trauma makes us, and it's actually neurobiologically too, like I studied that trauma corrupts that region. Excuse me, bird, you are very loud. I'm afraid that, yeah, you are very loud and people cannot hear me well. Could you be a little bit more quiet? Okay, I'm just joking. But okay. So you may want to like you may ask yourself, like, why am I recalling stories like that, or why this person is recalling like stories in the past, like why does it matter, just forget about it. But trauma corrupts that mind region that is responsible for the time. Honestly, just now in the moment that I'm climbing the jungles, I forgot, maybe amygdala, but somebody who knows the neurobiology, please correct me, because I just forgot in the moment now. So interestingly, even though you are like 10, 15, 5 or 50 years like away from the story, you may still recall it as if it is happening right now. And this is why you kind of like want to talk about it, and because your mind is still processing it. It's almost like you are still back there in that story where it happens, and that's why it can affect you on a very like conscious level in your body. Just because if your brain is processing it, it means that it puts you right there. So it may activate those, oh my god, I'll show you the view now. It may activate those processes that happen at the time. So let's say if you are for no reason experiencing fears, anxieties and panic attacks, it may be your trauma speaking. Like if it's a good day and everything is okay, but you just randomly experience, oh, it's hot, a lot of fears and anxieties, it may be your trauma at work. Maybe you're still processing something. And if you are that person, or you know people that are randomly go into this mode of recalling things from the past, and maybe because they're still processing it, maybe because they're still traumatized in a different language. So for me today, it was a lot of stories all at the same time. And believe me, it's difficult. No matter how many years of therapy, no matter how many years of education, it's still freaking difficult. All I think about is like this and that. Will I be killed? Will I be attacked? Will somebody try to like get me off this cliff? It's all the survival that is still activates within my body based on like the stories from the past of people that I used to know. People that are maybe not like, I don't want to go into that sad story, but for somebody who is no longer here on earth, and those traumas that are very embedded into me, into like the shock that I experience from hearing certain things, experiencing certain things, and then I want to make a choice and do something that is fun, that is interesting, that is authentically me. But all I ask, like, will I survive? Will I be okay? Is it dangerous? And for many, many years, I was not able to do what I'm doing now. And I'm not saying that I'm not freaked out. And just because those messages were really, really deep, and even the way how I was raised, like, don't, you are a girl, don't be alone, you are always like in danger, and then you have to be by the man's side, and then you have to like wear your this specific religion like thing on the neck to be protected. Like all of these messages, they're always constantly like bombarding us, even though maybe you are not like me, you're not aware of that, but I'm aware of that. So I guess let's pause and enjoy a little bit. Look how amazing. And I'm freaked out right now because this is something that I dreamed to do for many years. And even today, before coming here, and I'm still like a little bit surprised that I actually did it in the end. I actually proceeded into going and hiking, but I was sitting and afraid at home thinking, will I be able to do it today? And then on the entrance I was still stuck and like, can I still do it? Can I? It's not about being like a chicken, you know? It's not about being like you know, little, like, it's not about any like stigma that you may think about. This is how trauma works, and I'm aware of my stories. I'm aware how they affect me, and this awareness makes me be prepared for the possible outcomes that I may face in the fear of doing it. But I got prepared and I trusting the process and such. And somehow I want to say that, you know, you may work with the psychologist for years and years and years, but my psychologist is always telling me, and all of the people like mentors that I'm working with always telling me, that I'm extremely fast in advancing through the stories and traumas. And one of the reasons, because I have a talent in that. I have a talent in seeing patterns, and I do a lot of homework and self-work in that. So I want to say now, for some reason, that if you want, I want you to know that I have this talent that is really like can be used by other people. So for me, I got this habit and I got this incredible talent into seeing it, not just for me, but for other people as well. Let me change the camera view. Wait. You may have stories that will require 100% attention, not just from you, not just from mentor or coach, but with somebody who is equipped to work with deep traumas, like psychotherapist or psychologists. But I want to tell you that that may be required, but it may take, because it takes a lot of homework to do that. So it might require you to do that homework yourself, to find some stories, to find those things that you need to work on, and not only finding them, but also working through them. And I want to tell you that if you are experiencing troubles in doing that yourself, and especially overcoming it, because I promise you that I worked with like a licensed psychiatrist, actually, the one that is a doctor, and then with a licensed psychologist. But it's not until I found a mentor that really did help me to shift the direction, not into looking into the trouble and the problem all the time, but also into like switching your attention and direction in overcoming this. So I may serve you as this, like, how do I say it? I may be that support for you in overcoming it, because I'm so experienced in that. I'm so experienced. For me, it doesn't take a lot of effort to just like hear for a person, and it just immediately clicks for me, and I see, okay, that is what's wrong, and I know a lot of people that worked with me, and then it's not that I'm a magician. I say things could be pretty tough, just like in some of my cases. It may still require like a psychiatrist or psychologist, maybe you're seeing one, but then you can have a chance to bring something for them to work on. Because even though they do some exercises for you, maybe it's a somatical like therapist, maybe it's psychiatrist, and then you do cognitive therapy, speech therapy, like verbal or pills or anything like that, it may still require your work into finding those things and like bringing something to work with. If you cannot do that, well, here I can definitely help you out, because I can see it without a glimpse. Depending on what you're struggling with, if it's something like related to, let's say, like relationship, wait, let me change the camera again. If it's something related to mindset, like relationship, finances, what else? Making choices, or I mean, different for everybody, but I may not be able to work with you. Let's say if I will open up some extremely deep traumas, that may require work with psychologists or psychiatrists. But believe me that you want to work through that, because you want to live your authentic self to your fullest potential. But to even work with a professional, you need to bring something for them to work with. And I can open that up for you like no problem, just so you can see it in some stories, like moving through constellations, limiting beliefs, mindset work, ancestry, like limitations. That I can do, but with traumas, there have to be a work from. In my personal example, I have to tell you that it requires work with like 2 angles, and this is how you can do it faster and more efficient, more successful. Okay, I will go and climb further. Phew. Happy to do it today finally, and I'll continue to climb. We'll see where my limit today will be, and physically I am well prepared. I am I'm a former athlete. But psychologically, as I said, there are things that I'm working with, and we'll see where. You have to be gentle with yourself, right? We'll see where this fear and limitations will hit, but for now, for today, I'm a big winner, a winner of my own life, and I feel very successful. And as I said before, for people that are struggling, for people with traumas, but even for any other people, success is different for everybody. It's not about taking pictures with your Lamborghini or marrying a millionaire, or I don't know, like becoming a millionaire. It's not about money. It's not about possessions. It's not just about that. We have our own success pattern, which is to move away from where we've been into becoming more free to be ourselves, more authentic, and live more like this directed life, in fully expressing who we are, fully following that path. So today I moved through a limitation that did not let me do that for a long time, and I feel very successful in that. And honestly, it's even hard to believe that it's me finally doing that. So let's look at that view one more time, and I'll go ahead to hike. Thank you so much for being here today with me, and living this through with me too. Hopefully you will step on that path as well, and let me, or not me, I mean, it's not just about me, but I want this for you. I know how it feels to be in this cage of your traumas, but being free like that, living your life, it's incredible. So hopefully you will choose that for yourself when you will step on that journey. Okay, let's enjoy the view, and then I gotta go.